Today, guys, we're starting the Fiesta. The build is going down. We're gonna get her on the ramp, see how bad she actually is. She's so professional right now. Shout out Martin from the club, what a ledge.
And you get to keep them.
Yeah, oh, do I get to keep them? Oh.
Next time you come, you need to wear them.
Need to wear them, yeah. Mainly because of all the dust and hepatitis that's on the car right now. Right, can I just point out it's in the air? It's actually in the air, isn't it?
Yes.
And the actual bottom of the car hasn't fallen through yet. We've already won in my books. That is a win. That is a huge win. Just want to check. Hoping to make sure that, yeah, all of the nice body kit stays on because we don't want to be damaging any of that.
I'm getting these fingers all the way around it.
Where it falls off. But no, she's mid, don't worry about it. Oh yeah, in the actual air. The last time this was on a ramp, years.
I'd say
we're talking big time years. Right, so car is in the air. It hasn't fallen through the floor pan. Yes, we have won already, but we're going to go through the car because I think there's a lot of things we need to chat about, need to show as well and go through ourselves to make sure we are in the right realm of it's not rusty and it's not ruined. I think that's the idea, innit?
Happy though.
I firstly am quite happy. Let's go through it. So coming back, you know, from the back of the car to start with, I think all of the exhaust and everything coming up here's all happy.
Yeah.
Looks quite good. Obviously all the braking system will need attention, but the wheel still actually turns really freely, which is a huge bonus. Obviously suspension wise I think they're probably going to be a bit
coilovers
past it. They're actually coilovers as well. Look at that. Actual coilovers. That's good going, isn't it? Obviously the original drums are still on the back as well, but in good condition though. I think there's a lot of this is just surface rust, I think, more than anything.
This will all be mint.
Yeah.
Little sandblast.
Little sandblast, you know, yeah. I know someone that sandblasts, actually. You know, there's someone, shout out right now to the sandblaster, the legend that is the sandblaster. But coming down, let's have a look at the actual, floor and, all of this looks...
It's not... Let me get...
Let's give it a bloody good poking because we need to prove to ourselves, especially that, there isn't too much rust repair and cutting and everything that needs to be done, especially with see, look, so what's this, the actual rail of the car coming down?
So the chassis rails and these are like on two halves. There's one half,
so you've got the front half there,
they sit further in, which holds obviously rear axle onto it. Common to go near.
So you've got to see past the actual surface rust that's in front of us right now, but I think even if you jamming it, that's really good sign. That's a really good sign.
Apart from this having the wire brush off.
Yeah.
And we'll treat it with the old it's only surface rust.
Yeah.
Get that back to metal.
I think you'll happily, because it's not actually gone through, is it? No. Which is really good sign. I'm so happy about that. And one thing to point out as well, the body kit, we have to point this out, is actually, so this is the actual car here, metal, coming down, that's all happy. This is the body kit, so you actually have a huge sort of gap between the two, the's nowhere that anything can sit in, really.
Look right up here.
We look right up there.
See here?
You can actually
there's no
see.
gap, there's no edge for it to sit to. It's bonded perfectly to it.
So it's actually got nowhere to sit, you know, mud and horrible stuff in there.
Collection.
Also with, you know, you pointed out earlier, coming up to the actual wheel well, I don't think you guys can see it, but the actual wheel arch there, see here is the wheel arch, and then this is plastic, so there's no, you know, build up between the two, and there's actually gap and there's nothing in there, and it's all rock solid as well, which is a huge bonus. This kit being quite wide, it is quite far away from the car, but it's meant that there's a gap between the two, and it hasn't actually taken it with it, if that makes sense. It hasn't you know, yeah, it's preserved the car in a way, which is bloody good going in my books. I'm really impressed with that. Even up there, there's the bumper actual, what the rail say going across the back, is all happy.
Panel. Some of the rear panel's been cut out obviously for the exhaust, but the rest of it
is, even the boot floor, I suppose, that's the boot floor there. It's all happy, which is good. Actually really good going from, you know, what would you expect from a car that's been sat for many, many years. Very, very impressed. Coming this side, we've also got
a small hole in the seal.
Small hole, so the hole right there, would you say that was, is that a hole that was supposed to be there, or is it no, is it a hole that's, see, that's the only real one I think we found.
Yeah, it's got a sunroof, so sunroof down here, the sunroof drains should come from the top. One would go to the front of the car.
Yeah.
Each side, one would go to the back of the car.
So this would actually collect water in here, I suppose, wouldn't it, at some point?
The only issue I thought we would have with the seals would be collection of water. Like this side's a bit,
and reality is, there's a little bit there. Yeah, but then if that's the drainage part, then I think you've done
this side's still solid.
Pretty bloody well there. Yeah, so that side's nice and solid. The real, you know, holes and the work to be made is just around these parts, which is pretty good going. No, I'm impressed with that.
Main bit of the floor,
main bit of the floor is all happy. Just again, surface rust just being sat, which is a huge bonus in my books. That's all happy in there.
This is rear foot where you put your feet on the rear seats.
So rear foot pan. That's all pretty good going. So structurally, I think we've done quite well going forward. We've only got like this little, literally this little bit here.
From front to back, yeah.
From front to back.
Small areas here.
Small areas. I think this is probably somewhere that we were expecting as well.
That's right.
But again, it's not like you're putting that straight through. That's just more surface, more than anything, which is...
Again, obviously above the windscreen, all the rain, all the water, all that would come from the scuttle down here. So, you know, and that is its main point of contact.
Is right at the bottom of the car there at the front.
There's a bit of surface rust.
Nothing too bad.
I haven't been cold for it yet.
Yeah, that's it. So you've done quite well there. And again, this side, I think, same sort of story really, where you're only taking the surface rust off. It's pretty good going, I think. Obviously, you know, everything brake line wise and everything will be, you know, addressed when it comes to it, because I think we'll be changing the rear brakes out anyway.
Yeah, that's right.
And obviously exhaust, I think I want to keep the cannons on the back because that just has to happen. But reality is, I think the exhaust isn't too bad. Obviously, it could do with a clean up. We'll probably change it anyway. But
again, this was the original part from the
actual
the
car
old engine,
and then that's been put in and
from
out
here
the
on,
back.
we've got our own. It's basically base model to play with.
Yeah, which is good. I'm really happy with that. How's this front bit?
Front panel's seen better days, but again,
I think that's something we can.
All this is carrying, apart from obviously this holds the engine on, but this actual self
isn't too bad. Again, this stuff just coming off is not too bad. You're not putting your thing straight through it, which is the main thing.
The lower part of the balance, which would have held the neons on before, is
on its way out.
That might have been due to it being sat in the mud.
Yeah, I think that's probably where the muddiest part of the car was this front bit. So you will get that and this being, you know, exposed to most of the wet, I think. Which isn't too bad going again. I think that's quite, isn't actually too bad. Now I think a lot of people are going to be very scared about what they're seeing with rust and stuff, but if you do know your rust and you know your cars and all this, I don't think that's too bad going. I was considerably more worried about what I was going to find underneath.
I wasn't.
I think my MX-5 was worse than that, and that had an MOT on it. So yeah, that sort of says a lot. But I think all in all, you know, just looking under it when it went onto the actual flatbed, when it came here, I think we've done quite well there. Because it's actually relatively intact, and it's, well, we're stood underneath and it ain't fallen through yet, so that's pretty good. Would you say that's pretty good going? I'm actually pretty happy with that. Moon, yeah. I'm happy. That means we don't have to do as much cutting and stuff.
That's right. Yeah.
So guys, not too bad, but I have to tell you that this car right here will be at the Ford Takeover. It's on the 20th of May, and it will be on my stand. I've got a big FYD stand there. All the clothing, all the merch will be there, and I'm going to try and get this car relatively ready. You know, it might not be running, it might not, you know, it's going to be there though. In some sort of form, it will be there. So if you haven't already booked your tickets and stuff, make sure you head over to Isle of Wight Ford Takeover website. I'll put it on the screen anyway, but get your tickets because you can come and see this. It should be quite a good event. Last year it was pretty massive. Did you go? It was
me? I went.
Yeah, of course you did. Of course you did. No car, but it was getting paid at the time. But it was huge, absolutely massive. This year's going to be even bigger as well. So you need to come just to see this as well, because it's going to be a feat of engineering sat there with like all of the new stuff and like Cosworths and stuff that are coming, and then this monstrosity will be sat there as well. Oh yeah. And going forward, where do you think we should start with the build or restoration of this car? I personally think we should go from the underneath up and sort of from the back forwards, you know, concentrating ourselves on getting, you know, the welding done and just making this all pretty much mint, I think, sandblasted and quite happy. Get the base done.
And then work, I think after our chat, back to front.
Yeah, so start here, work our way forwards with, you know, wire brush and painting the bits we want to paint, just making sure structurally it's quite happy and it looks good underneath.
Making things shiny again.
Yeah, and then, you know, take it from here upwards, you know, into the interior as well. I want to do a big boot build, I think, as well. I think that's probably the way to go with it, because that's the way this car should be. We did talk about putting a cage in it maybe, but nah, we're going to do a good... It's not that kind of car, is it? And I think, I'm not going to say anything as to, you know, the engine we're actually going to put in, but it's not staying standard. We're going to put an engine in it.
We can't go this far.
We can't go this far and not put some engine in it. It's not going to be some crazy million brake horsepower thing, don't get me wrong, but we are going to change it.
If it was a million brake horsepower, the kit would probably fall off.
Yeah, it would. Well, the wing would. It would just go from there, straight off the back. Yeah. Right. So as the car is now pretty much back down on the ground, massive thank you to Martin here. Huge thank you to you. We've had a good chat about where to go next with this, and MJG Grit Sand Blasting Isle of Wight. You need to go and like the page. We're going to make this very nice underneath, aren't we? This is going to be nice. We're going to use your expertise for this one.
It's going to be one to look at, definitely.
Because, yeah, we're going to make the underside look quite nice. I think that's the start of where we're going to go with your expertise, because I have never done anything like that, if I'm quite honest. Simple.
Break it down.
Break it down. We're going to push the car back into the corner now, because that's where she's going to lie for a bit until we come back and revisit and start unbolting and sandblasting and painting.
It's her home, isn't it?
It's her home, right there. It's her home. It's where her home is. Right guys, bumper is back on. Car is happy in her little home. If you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Tell me down below what we should do first. I sort of have an idea. We want to clean up the, you know, the underneath. What engine should we put in it as well? I think that's quite a big thing that people should tap away. Nothing too crazy, nothing silly money. What do you think we should put in it? This Friday we actually have a mini sale on FYD as well. Beanie hats, we have the dad caps, and we have the rolling RS t-shirts. Put some pictures up for you guys. They're all going on sale, various prices, pretty much half price on everything. If you haven't already, subscribe, like the video for the car. Thank you to Martin, he's a legend.
No worries.
You are a ledge, mate. The reason this car is going because of this guy, I tell you, it's just how it is.
Be fine.
From me and Martin, it's goodbye. Have a nice day, everyone. Thank you for watching.
Wait for the next one.
Wait for the next one. It's going to be good.